Welcome back to the Journey to Leadership podcast. Leadership and management insights to engage, educate, and empower. The aim of this podcast is to provide leaders at all levels of organizations with the tactics and techniques to dramatically increase effectiveness, productivity, and results in their business. My name is Corey Atkinson, your leadership and performance coach, Vice President of Learning and Development at CSPN. And since these podcasts are for all of you, my listeners, I'd love to get your thoughts. If you'd like to get insight on a specific topic or a situation, ask a question, or give us feedback on what you like or want to hear more of, please let me know. Please email me directly at Corey, Corey, at mycspn.com. And please also follow me on LinkedIn, where I'm posting articles and other ideas around our journey to leadership. So let's get started. Today, we're actually answering a question. Who are you talking to? Quote, great things never come from comfort zones. Marianne Carlini was a national general manager of a Fortune 100 company. Marianne had joined the organization as a buyer about 4 or 5 years ago and had worked her way up to becoming the national manager, responsible for 8 territories across the country. As she'd taken over this role, she started to see the writing on the wall. Other competitors were rebranding their organizational message to their customers or changing their service offerings. And Marianne and her team were beginning to feel their market share starting to get pinched. We met at a leadership conference that I was leading a while back, and she came up and asked if she could work with me to coach her to help her grow as a leader. We'd gone through a few sessions and we were sitting down to kick off our monthly coaching conversation. And she said, Corey, I saw this coming. I shared my concerns with everyone, but only now is everybody willing to accept that we need to change our game plan. I've been leading a team of other managers to create new processes that will strengthen our bottom line, but it's not moving. I replied, so what's happening? I'm not sure. Actually, no, I am sure, she said. These people are not taking the situation seriously. Our meetings are good. I ask everyone to always come with ideas for how to improve. We discuss them, assign roles and responsibilities, but then nothing happens. I said, why do you think that is? She sighed, well, I don't know. There's a number of factors. The various territories that I have to lead have different client bases, so demands on their time varies. Some of the managers have stronger teams than others. Some of the managers are stronger leaders than others. I said, what else? Marianne was quiet for a moment. And then she looked at me and said, honestly, Corey, I don't think everyone on the team or even on the respective teams understands or even buys into the case for change. I had one-on-ones with everyone. I presented the numbers in black and white. I even did a roadshow to meet with locations to tell them why this organization needed to change. I'm really not sure what is missing and why they're not on board. I was silent for a moment and then leaned back and said, I wonder, Marianne, if you're communicating effectively. Do you really know who you're talking to? Marianne wrinkled her face as if to say, what are you talking about? And then she said, what are you talking about? I'm always communicating. I said, yes, leadership is all about communicating, Marianne. But in today's change-focused world, leaders must change the way they communicate with intention, especially to get buy-in and especially to motivate and inspire. Marianne rubbed her forehead and said, I thought I was motivating them, but you might be right. It's not taking. Maybe I'm motivating them the way I'd like to be motivated. Bingo, I said with a smile. Like all of us, Marianne, leaders can get set in their ways. And why wouldn't they? What they've been doing to get them to where they are has worked. So why change, right? Marianne nodded in agreement. So what should I do, Corey? Well, there A couple of key perspectives that I like to provide leaders with when they're communicating change and changing their communication. Two things. One, tune into WIFM. Have you heard of that one, Marianne? She shook her head no. I said, okay, I'll tell you about that. Another one is think about what you fear. She sat back. What I fear? Yeah, I'll tell you about that in a moment. Let's go with number one. WIFM stands for, is an age-old acronym, what's in it for me? Most of us are always thinking, Marianne, about what's in it for me at work, at home, going to see a sports event or vacation. We're always considering, what am I getting out of this? Why is this important to me? And although we are always thinking about it, though, it's not at the forefront of our mind, but yet at a subconscious level that actually drives us. And when others tune into what's in it for us, is when our ears prick up. But you see, what leaders tend to do, and it's not your fault, is talk about what's in it for us, the company, or even themselves a little bit, thinking that that should be enough for the team to get on board and understand why it is in them, what's in it for them personally. And this is fine, but to be an effective communicator and know who you're talking to, we have to be able to change our communication. We have to get very clear on what's in it for each individual on our team. You see, the managers on your team and their teams don't really have the same access to information and have very different motivators. So they need to be considered differently, Marianne. What is and what is not changing for that group? What kind of language and examples will resonate with them? What's their frame of reference? Effective communication will address these most important questions for them to understand what's in it for me, or what does it mean. And when you tune in and when you change your communication, you'll see a change in their behavior. Marianne started nodding and took out her notepad and started scribbling furiously. Corey, you are so right. I'm thinking about us and me a little bit and not clear about them. That's good. Tell me about fear. Fear is a little more challenging to communicate through. When we encounter something we fear, in your instance, for your team, it's change. We experience two responses from a scientific point of view: a neural response, memory flashpoints of what happened last time, and a physiological response to that possible threat, sweaty palms or even a faster heartbeat. We all know these things, right? And our brain starts to imagine a stimulus to activate those emotional processes in response to that threat. So, in your team's case, the responses you are seeing in the team of managers and their teams, Marianne, is a lack of response, right? They say they're up for change, but they're not going to move and do anything different, or they're just not comfortable in what they're doing. Marianne started to shake her head. You're right, Corey. I've had a lot of we're all on board, but no action. What should I do? Well, two things. First, remember, who are you talking to? For the WIFM, find out, Marianne, right away. Ask the questions, break it down, and clearly communicate what is in it for your team as individuals as they to get on the board with this change. What's in it for them as people with lives outside of work, not just those and what they have to do inside the organization. Then use that info as your guiding principles or one of your guiding principles on why this change is so important. Make them have a sense of ownership of this change. For the fear part, share, Marianne, if you feel comfortable, what fears you have regarding this change. Is it embarrassment if things don't go well, or rejection from higher ups, or failure, or even a loss of power? Whatever twinge or twang of fear or concern you have, let your team know within reason. Study after study has shown leaders who show transparency when times are tough are the ones that others will tend to follow more readily. Great leaders always remember who they're talking to. So what are Corey's comments for this one? When I think of Marianne's dilemma, I often think of this movie I saw years ago with a famous actor, Paul Newman. It was actually a movie called Cool Hand Luke. And in the line is a line we've probably all heard: what we have got here is a failure to communicate. And one of the most common mistakes I see as leaders try to change gears or shift directions is the organization's communication efforts really just are attempts to get people to like the change, or better yet, convince the people that the change will be easy and everything is going to be just wonderful. See, why is it after every project that's completed, most common suggestions for future initiatives is we need to communicate better? Organizations, leaders spend a lot of time and money putting together intricate communication plans, but at the end of the day, they hear we aren't very good at communicating time and time again. Leaders of today and of tomorrow must take the time to change their communication so that any initiative or any new way of doing business can move along smoothly. So, just a quick recap for you. Answer the questions with them. What's in it for me? What does it mean to me? And what fears are present? And communicate around these topics to drive engagement and buy-in. As I said before, great things never come from comfort zones. Well, that's our podcast. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Please connect with me through our website, mycspn.com. You'll find information about our customizable learning developments, our options, consulting, upcoming events, and client success stories. All of our podcasts are also on our archive page, so please go there to see what else we've been talking about. As well, reach out to me on LinkedIn, as I said earlier, or email me directly at Corey, Corey, at mycspn.com. I love getting your thoughts, comments, and questions. And because community is key to our journey to leadership and life, I have a great offer for you, the listeners. When you let us know what you thought about the podcast, send us a quick email in terms of the positive it's helping you with in your world. I will send you my CSPN Gotta See This reading list. It's a collection of books, articles, blogs, infographics, and more that my clients and I have found extremely helpful for maximizing leadership, implementing management strategies, and delivering memorable experiences for clients and customers. So please send in your reviews and I'll send the list immediately. My name is Corey Atkinson, the Leadership and Performance Coach at CSPN. Hope you really enjoyed listening and look forward to seeing you on your journey to leadership. Thanks for joining me. Have a fabulous day.